This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we're going to speak about why stealing from the government will cause you to go to jail, and why some criminals take advantage of government health care only to find that they are prosecuted eventually and sentenced to jail, and why a new statute required a convicted felon to have a review of his sentence. In the People versus Howard Oliver, the California Court of Appeals decided on May 12, 2023, that his appeal from the judgment entered after a jury convicted him of conspiracy to cheat and defraud Medi-Cal fraud, grand theft, false and fraudulent claims, insurance fraud, and 4 counts of tax evasion. For the period 2012 through 2015, Oliver was sentenced to an aggregate sentence of 7 years, 8 months in prison, and ordered to pay over $2.85 million in restitution. It all started because in 1997, Oliver hired accountant Lou Cannon to assist with taxes and bookkeeping for his business, Central Desert Industrial Medical Group, an Apple Valley, California medical clinic, which provided medical care to injured workers. Cannon eventually learned that Oliver was also the director of lucrative alcohol and drug counseling centers and became interested in operating one. Oliver counseled her on starting a facility, providing her information and documentation to submit with the relevant applications, and loaned her funds to start the facility. In 2008, Cannon opened West Coast Counseling Center in Long Beach, designating herself as the executive director and Oliver the medical director. Oliver provided his medical license and advised Cannon as to which office to rent, informing her an examination room was not necessary. West Coast's business was based on billing Medi-Cal. Cannon handled the billing, payroll, and accounting. Oliver served as medical director, signing off on files, plans, and billing. He received a salary of $1,500 a month, which later increased to $2,500 a month. Cannon directed counselors to fill in incomplete intake forms with false information and input progress notes in files of patients who the counselors never counseled. To accomplish this approximately twice per month, a person named Bailey gave counselors patient names and dates so that they could prepare false progress notes in the files. Oliver visited the office once or twice a month to review files, sign them, and return them to counselors. Oliver signed a physical examination waiver for clients. Bailey also instructed the counselors to list group sessions as lasting 3 hours, even though no sessions went that long. If counselors failed to do so, their paychecks would be withheld until necessary corrections to the entries were made. Counselors complained about the falsification of records during a staff meeting with Cannon, Bailey, Oliver, and Moreno, officers of the business, and Oliver said to Bailey, "You need to stop doing this with the staff." The counselors were asked to leave the meeting room, and after the meeting, Oliver continued to sign off on patient visits that had not occurred. West Coast was doing well financially. West Coast also began offering incentives to encourage Medi-Cal recipients to come into their office and provide their Medi-Cal card in exchange for vouchers for food, clothes, and transportation. The Department of Justice investigative auditor assigned to investigate West Coast determined that Medi-Cal paid West Coast approximately $2.8 million between January of 2010 and September of 2013, approximately half of which was for one-on-one counseling for 3 hours per day, 3 days a week. The investigation revealed that Oliver had deposited several $100,000 worth of checks into the Central Desert and/or Grove medical accounts that went unreported on Central Desert's tax returns. Central Desert failed to pay $203,744 in taxes over a period of 4 years. The trial court's denial of Oliver's mistrial request was found by the Court of Appeal to not be erroneous because the evidence of Oliver's knowledge that the documents he was signing contained false information was overwhelming, and Oliver's contrary arguments are unavailing. The court concluded that the trial court did not err in denying a mistrial. However, Assembly Bill No. 518 required resentencing because it took effect on January 1, 2022, just a few days after Oliver's December 7, 2021 sentencing. Amended Section 654 to provide in pertinent part, quote, an act or omission that is punishable in different ways by different provisions of law may be punished under either of such provisions, but in no case shall the act or omission be punished under more than one provision, close quote. Therefore, a trial court must exercise its informed discretion when sentencing a defendant. Oliver was convicted of 5 counts related to Medi-Cal fraud and 4 counts related to tax evasion. Under the former statute, the trial court was required to impose the longer sentence for count 2 and stay the sentences for counts 1, 3, 4, and 6 because, as the trial court recognized, those 5 counts arose out of essentially all the same course of conduct. Under the amended statute, the trial court had discretion to sentence Oliver under one of the less severe provisions and stay sentences on the other counts arising out of the same acts and omissions. Howard Oliver's sentence was vacated by the Court of Appeal, and the case was remanded to the trial court for resentencing. In all other respects, the judgment of conviction was affirmed. In my opinion, defrauding the state and federal governments is a serious crime because the money comes out of tax revenue. Oliver did so with impunity for a payment of only $2,500 a month, plus whatever he could steal from the business and by lying on his tax returns. He was properly convicted of the crimes and sentenced appropriately. Hopefully, although I hold out little hope, when the sentence is looked at again, the trial court will exercise its discretion and keep or even make longer the sentence Oliver must serve. We can only hope. This video was adapted from my blog, Zelma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zelma.com/blog. You can also subscribe to the blog at the site, and you will receive notice of all blog postings, usually 5 a week, sometimes 6. And you can also subscribe to the videos on rumble.com or on youtube.com. And if you found them to be useful, please click on the thumbs up button at Rumble and the like button at YouTube. And please tell your friends and colleagues so that they can also subscribe to the blog and the videos. And if you wish further detailed education on insurance and insurance claims handling for a small fee, you can subscribe to either my Locals community or my Substack publications. Thank you for your attention.